Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Absorb all life from the planet. Remember to get this 1 to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto found the Uzumaki curse over on Anime King 3. Yes guys, and enjoy that. If you're new, I have 3 channels. Yes, it might sound crazy, but I do have. And get this, I post What If every single day. Yes, it's surprising, isn't it? But I do, every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description for Anime King 2 and Anime King 3. So go ahead and check them out and enjoy. So yeah, remember to also turn on that bell notification to see exactly when I post and what channel I post on. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this new episode start? The intro, guys. So, the last part that we left off. As Utakata and Hodoro was making their way calmly, as they came across someone that asked him for directions. He seemed harmless at first until he started to speak. He said that he was ashamed that he came here to kill Utakata. It was then that Utakata had to fight back, using his bubble against Naruto. But they did absolutely nothing. He placed him and Hodoro in a bubble as he tried to go away with her. But Naruto appeared right in and sucked them away, into his own personal space. As they found themselves in a strange location, it was then that Naruto proceeded to beat the crap out of Utakata. Hodoro dropped her knees in tears, as she begged him not to kill him. She will do anything. As Naruto turned towards her when he heard anything, a smile on his face. A rather lecherous smile. It was then that Utakata begged for her to run, just get out of here, that he would be fine. But she could not, and not to mention she was afraid. So, in order to save his life, she gave herself over. As Naruto called, it was then that Gorin came out. After spending so much time with Naruto, Gorin had been broken, and now she had fully committed to become his. As there was nothing to change her mind about that, as she led Hodoro to get her prepared. Utakata turned as he screamed and raged at Naruto, but the rods in his back kept him from doing anything. As Naruto smirked towards him, we then had a small time skip. Danzo Shimiro was having a good day so far, although Snazzy had not yet been completely broken because of the boy's death, for him to start to call things from the shadow. That is when Danzo found himself attacked, as he died. Luckily his technique activated as he reappeared. He was confused as he saw him. There was no mistaking that face. Here was different, but it was him. It was him, Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto arrived and started chat casually to Danzo, Danzo was confused on how he was here, how he was even alive. It was then the both of them started to throw down. As Danzo found himself getting killed after another and reappearing because of the Izanagi. He found himself getting killed one after another. He tried to call for his root, but to his surprise, when they arrived, they transformed. As Naruto had created new copies of Zetsu, but he called them Metsu. Yeah, not real original, but he called them Metsu. As Metsus, or rather durable and a lot stronger as well. And they had their personal way of thinking, not to mention they saw Naruto as their father. As Naruto had them transformed as Danzo agents after he had slaughtered them all. He then proceeded to slaughter Danzo, as he summoned a massive creature and had the thing feast on Danzo like he was a true toy. We then skipped to the hidden rain after some time, as Konan every now and then went to visit the orphanage to make sure the children was okay, as she came across 3 children there. After she was done with that, she went to eat with Nagato. She then went to her room. That is when she was surprised when the 3 kids appear in the room. One of them tossed a kunai towards her. She caught it. It was a 3 from kunai. Next thing she knew, she was on a bed. as she found none other than the Jinchuriki. She tried to attack and hurt him, but to her surprise, her paper could not cut his skin as Naruto merely laughed at her attempt of hurting him as they started battle, him merely slapping away all of her attacks. She then noticed a strange ink on her arm as she brushed it off, but she shouldn't have, because sooner than she realized she was under his control. She fought and tried to fight against him, but everything that she said was agreeing with him. She couldn't do anything as she was forced to listen to his commands. As he forced her to get undressed and dropped to her knees, she cursed at him in her mind, but yet her body was not listening to her, as he had complete control over her. So yeah guys, so basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the playcheck of yourself, and also guys, remember to go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King 3 of What If Naruto Found the Uzumaki Curse and enjoy that guys. And yeah, remember to also stay tuned for a brand new episode coming up for Anime King 2, which I hope you guys enjoy later on. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this new episode starts? The video guys. There was just something about breaking people. Honestly, it was a rare art indeed. He's been doing it since he was a child, only he's more visceral right now. Once he uses words and his gut to sway people, even the most hardened rogue criminals, from their life of danger and confronting their demons to become better people. Now he liked to break people for the sheer pleasure of it. He didn't discriminate though, man, woman, all the in-betweeners. It did not really matter. He just liked to break the woman that he had a thing for the most. But that was most likely the combination of his word, his strength, and his power. If only he had this power before, maybe he'd have prevented a lot of things from taking place. Maybe he would have been a better person. The reverse also held true. Power fed ego. Ego brought hubris. Hubris brought downfall. Speaking of downfall, Hodoro was in front of him on the bed. After a long session, she looked exhausted yet the glaze overlooking her eyes. She begged him. "Please do me, master," she said. "Maybe later," he said. "I got other things to do." "You're going to Haruna, aren't you, master?" That bitch. Hodoro looked adorable with the way that she pouted. All of his girlfriends, or whatever they want to call themselves, they were rather possessive of him. It isn't like he hardwired their mind or anything. Shin had been his first target. The way his natural energy overwhelmed her, that was more than enough. Karen dedicated herself to him the moment she got a taste of his chakra. Shizuka agreed to sleep with him because Netsuko would return later, but later on abandoning them for him, and for him alone. Guren was an enemy who fought to get away, but she soon realized the best option was to be here with him. After all, he did return Kimaru as he promised. Haruna and Koyuki, well, those were people that he ambushed on the road. At first, he didn't intend to let them live. Daimyo, looking to make secret deals with shinobi villages. That would cause a bit of delay in his plans, and he just couldn't have that. Destroying their parties and taking them as spoils of war. He decided to relish in the chaos, and besides, he liked sex. No, he loved it. He placed a hand to Hodoro's lips as he patted her on the head, something that she liked. "You know I have other things to do, don't you, Hodoro?" he asked. She pouted once more. "Yes, I do. Doesn't mean I have to like it." "I love it when you're with me, master," she said. "Even when we're not together in the bed. When you teach me, when we have meals together. I just wish I had more time with you." "Dear," he said. Naruto felt touched. "I know, sweetie," he says. He caressed her cheek. "I know. But business is calling," he said to her. "You can send a clone, master. It's not like anyone will be able to beat you anyway." "True. But I like getting my hands dirty in a while. And you like it when I get dirty, don't you?" She nodded vigorously as he started to get dressed. As Naruto looked at himself in the mirror, as he seemed like he was missing something. "Master, you should wear the cape that we made." "Yes, I need to make a stylish impression. Remind me to leave you 3 clones, Hodoro." Hodoro was squealing joy as Naruto pulled out the cape, as he fastened it around himself. He did look dapper enough, but he needed to keep an air of mystery as well. He brought out a piece of black clothing. As he opened it small, it covered from his neck up to his nose. "Can I fix your hair?" she said. "Sure," said Naruto. As she brushed his hair, she was being careful not to brush his clothing with her sweat. She tied his hair up to form a long, high ponytail. As Naruto looked at himself in the mirror, damn, not to be cocky and all, but, well, who was he kidding? He was cocky. He was hot, he thought to himself, as he checked himself out in the mirror. "You look so handsome, master," Hodoro said. As Naruto created 3 clones for her, as she squealed in joy, as he then left the room, as he made his way. Relishing the silence, once upon a time it was all that he heard, pure silence. But now, it was always full with noise. But this was better, although he didn't mind having a bit of me time as well. The castle was probably his best work yet. As he made his way to the courtyard, his hellhounds were sleeping, the stone army was on standby, and the undead knights were vigilant as ever. Two Metsu were standing at the base of the white tree, noting the rate that the work was being produced, and tallying the numbers. High in the branches, more Metsu looked over the cocoons. It was well when they had numbers on their backs. Well, it was lazy, yes, but it also get him to remember which one was which. Metsu number 1, or as he liked to call it Mechan, came forward the list. Lord Daddy, Mechan, said Naruto, I see that you're ready to head out. I'll let 23 know that you're heading out. Do that and make sure everything's going smoothly. A bit of news before you leave, Lord Daddy. What is it? Said Naruto. We are ready to test out the morphing chamber, Lord Daddy. That was quick, said Naruto. Wish it would have happened sooner, though. I beg for your forgiveness, Father. I will do better. As Metsu went down towards the ground and bowed his head, it felt a bit uneasy to the Metsus. They worship him too much. He remembered the first day when little Mechan was just a sapling. How the sapling grew. The first thing called Naruto was father. All of them did that when they felt short. When they thought they fell short of the task that he handed them. It was a bit embarrassing sometimes. Get up, Metsu-chan, said Naruto. I told you not to take little things like this so seriously. If I cannot impress you, I feel a sense of shame. You are the reason why I exist. It's only fitting I do your bidding and overachieve for you. Chill, said Naruto. Bring me a sword. What kind? Light, precise, said Naruto. Mechan disappeared a burst of speed and came back rather quickly. As Naruto unsheathed the katana, unbreakable steel, forged from the tears of 1,000,000 virgin ironsmith, who could never get laid, and chakra metal, molded and blessed by the drops of his own blood, the slash cut through ear particles. It was perfectly balanced. Not bad. Forger insisted on making this. He was disappointed by the last work. Well, given all my abilities, you think, the last thing I need is the armor. We only wish for you to be safe, my lord. Without your guidance, we are sheep that will be led astray. Asked Naruto shiver a bit. When he made the Metsu to be completely obedient to him, he didn't expect the blind fate of that level. He activated his Kamui as he started to disappear. As he made his way, he appeared on the gooey earth. And a mist. Lots of mist. Far away he smelled the scent of blood, and a decent sized chunk of chakra, with a taint of hate chaining it up. He made his way as he arrived to an empty cave. As hundreds of kunais were launched towards him, he pulled his blade and slashed. All the kunais and shurikens were broken into tiny pieces as he sheathed his blade. Shinobis and kunoichis armed to the teeth appear around him, ready to take him down or die trying. Now, let's all calm down, he said, trying to break the ice. Who are you? What do you want? The guard did not seem like a friendly person. Before Naruto could speak, someone spoke. Stop. He's going to help us. Naruto smiled as he watched his soldier obeying the man's words. Utsukata walked forward through the crowd. As he extended his hand, Naruto took it and shook it. The two of them walked as they made their way through some caves that made their way through strange tunnels as they turned and turned and turned, bringing them towards a different section. It was the base of the rebellion. They have done quite well for themselves. Naruto and Utakata stood as they looked towards a taller building than the other ones. It seemed like even in a civil war, the higher class separated themselves from the lower class. Making their way, they arrived towards the office. A war table, map, and several papers. Two men stood on the opposing ends on each sides, one of them stern and hardened by years of war, as Naruto could feel a scrutinizing gaze under the eye patch. The other was a youth, troubled by the lack of achievement and burdened by the legacy of the sword in his back. In the middle there was a woman, draped in a battle kimono that clung to her rather tightly. As Naruto had to shuffle through his memory to remember how goddamn stunning the fifth Mizukage was. Lady Terumi, Utakata bowed. This is the man I talk about. He aided me in my escape, and once more helped me survive an encounter that I was not ready for. I see. Her voice was sweet, like honey, and you knew that she wanted to be perceived that way. Her green eyes were lit with mischief and sly as she licked her lips. A perfect act to entice any man. You have my regard for saving my shinobi. His presence has been quite the boom for us. Utsugata is no ordinary shinobi, and if a spar with you made him realize he be stronger with his people, I wonder what that said about a soldier like you. Well, said Naruto, you'll have to find out for yourself, sweetheart. How dare you address Lady May that way? Ayo, May said, cutting him off. Excuse me, friend, she said, looking back at Naruto. He does not appreciate when people are less than formal with me. Well, I don't care about formalities that much. All of it seems like excess baggage. Spoken like a true mercenary, Ayo said. He almost glared at Naruto. He was guessing that he did not trust him. For the sake of our freedom and for the sake of our people is the only reason why you're allowed to be here. So show some damn respect. Alright, Cyclops, said Naruto. Ayo bristled at the name, as Kojiro cringed. Utakata shook his head as Mei simply chuckled. She gave him a look. My name is Arashi. Akamaya, said Naruto. Pleased to meet you all. Time skip. A small sparrow landed on his shoulder as he furiously stroked the brush against the canvas. Several palettes of colors exploded across canvas. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Rapidly, he moved his hand in a blur. Finally, he stopped. It was over. His work was done. All the pieces were in place. He will enjoy the fruit of his labor and smile as the sun shined down on the world. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff, he muttered, in wholesome satisfaction. Isn't that right, Birdie, he said. The sparrow certainly seemed to agree. He brought his hand up as chocolate condensed and pulled the moisture in, and created a glob of water hovering right in front of him. As the sparrow drank the water, he patted him on the head before it flew off. As Naruto walked into his home, 2 stories, barely the enough essential, just the ones that are necessary. But the upside to all of this was a nice secluded section near the waterfall, and no one to disturb his peace. Well, not anyone that he didn't want to come here at least. Fighting with limiters set on him was fun. For about 4 months, it was really fun. Killing a bunch of wannabe shinobis who were looking to become heroes, even more fun. But the little things in life made him more better. Between the Spiral Palace and the Civil War, he thought that he had lost his touch for the little things in life that made life amazing. So he decided to make a clone. He left it in the village and spent some time here, where only one person knew who he really was, and he enjoyed it. And that was 5 months ago. The leader of this village made it clear that he was a dear friend, a trusted comrade, a man who liked peace more than anything else. And that was true. Well, there was a small detail though. It felt good though being out here, relaxing. There was still more that he had to do, but having a normal life, it felt amazing. It couldn't always be about making plans for years, hunting down the biggest threats, well, annoyances, and then just capping it off with a big victory. He had to look for the beauty in life. He brought his new painting and hung it up on the wall. As he looked at it with a twinge of pride, it would no doubt be his best work. He then picked up something, large shorter, as he heard the flapping of wings. The door to his house was slipped open. She walked in with a rather large smile. A beautiful, beautiful large smile, as he could feel the raw happiness of her emotions. Mint green hair, orange eyes, tan and fit. She jumped right at him and hugged him. That would have probably broken most people's ribs from the pressure that she exuded. But he was not most people as he returned the hug. She looked up at him before she captured his lips in a tight kiss. Of course he was not going to complain. His hands and tongue soon overpowered hers. Her chest was small, but Naruto Uzumaki never discriminates. It doesn't matter what the size was. He did not discriminate. As he picked her smaller frame up in his arms, and he got to work. Time skip. Naruto walked down the stairs, leaving the exhausted fool. As he came to a stop when the world around him suddenly shifted. As he saw the illusional form of his clone that he left behind within the mist. Colonel, this is Snake. Can you hear me? I told you, stop calling yourself Snake, and stop calling me Colonel. It feels wrong. I feel like I can be sued. Who can sue you? Asked Snake. I don't know. A bunch of greedy men that would do their best to sacrifice anything to get their hand on cash. As Arashi saluted him. Why have you called? Said Naruto. We'll be heading to Yagura crib today. Oh, headquarters. Yeah, that, said Naruto as he wanted to kick his clone in the face. The astral seal could only let them see and hear each other though. He could not physically touch him. He would kick him after getting there. Is everything going as planned? The clone got a bit serious. Yes. Ao died fighting. Kojo, that timid bastard, was strong enough to live through an assault. So I step on his throat, the clone said. And me, Naruto asked. She'll be ready for you. Oh, he liked the sound of that. Her forces have dwindled, but Yagura have suffered more loss than us. Should we go with the old bait and switch? Of course, that Obito is a crafty bastard. I don't want him doing anything rash. Should things go exactly as planned, he will let anger take him. Besides, as Naruto grinned, I have a little surprise for him. I also got Konan on gathering intel, and also keeping Nagato in line. She didn't like the idea of touching Nagato to make him listen more. And that just made her hot for Naruto. As that came to him as a surprise, that Nagato was a closet pervert, relieving himself, at least several times a day. One day he ordered her to help him relieve himself. It wasn't sex, but it was just enough to make the god do what he wanted. You're so cruel, boss. Turning pain into a simp was such a genius move, said Arashi. Yes, praise me more, Naruto coughed in his hand. Now, stand by for the switch. Yes, Colonel, said the clone with another salute. Stupid clone, said Naruto as he returned back to the house. He decided to get lunch ready. After all, one should never commit mass genocide on an empty stomach. A little moving around and lunch was ready. A hearty and comforting noodle soup with chicken and fish cakes and udon noodles simmering in the broth. His lips water. Smell good, he thought to himself. As he felt her trying to sneak up on him, she jumped on his back and wrapped her arms around him. Naru, she said, you're the best boyfriend ever. Damn right. No chop chop as he turned towards her. She was wearing his t-shirt, as it went all the way down to her knees. Honestly, he liked the girl. If he hadn't spent all those years, seeing all the hypocrisy, seeing all the tangles and lies, he would have settled down for this, for her, and a bunch of other girls, that would keep him calm and sated, their affection and their love. He really craved love. Always watching husband, wives, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters. He imagined that it was something so unconditional, something so wonderful that he would do anything for it. That the person that loved him back would do just the same, and be just the same. Someone that could make him run away with them, leave everything behind, and settle down with that person, but it wasn't for him. Not anymore. Love of that kind never exists, not anymore. Have you thought about what I said? After finishing eating, he asked. Yes, she said as she looked down. Her eyes were determined. I'll go, she said, as Naruto leaned and kissed her. Great, he said, as he pointed toward the skies through the window. You'll be free, he said. That's right. Lucky 7 Fu will do whatever she wants. Wow, really? She chuckled and scratched the back of her head. I mean, Lucky 7 Fu and her boyfriend will do whatever they want. Naruto smiled. Mechan, he said, get out here. As the ever-loyal Metsu came over, coming from the grasses and making his way inside. Lord Naruto bowed. Lady Fu, he said. Mechan, as Fu shook him. How many times I have to tell you to not call me that? I cannot call you anything else, Lady Fu. Fu, she said. Lady Fu. Fu. Lady Fu. I've been trying for years, Fu, said Naruto. It's not gonna happen, the world will tear itself asunder before he does that. That's pretty grim, Naru, said Fu. It is what it is. Now give him your hand, said Naruto. Fu nodded and held her hand out. She cringed a bit as her chakra was absorbed by him. Metsu twisted and turned, as he turned into an identical copy of her. She looked at him as she started to touch him everywhere. Lady Fu, I assure you, I copy everything perfectly, he said. I know, it's so weird. I still can't believe that you actually convinced Shibuki to let us go. He's an old friend, besides. He wanted to be happy more than anything else. Down to his last breath, said Naruto. True, said Fu as she nodded. Well, go upstairs and get ready. We're heading out today. Now? Now, said Naruto. Very sudden, Naruto. Very sudden. Even for you. Well, I figure I'll take you home, said Naruto. Oh, you will, she said. her voice getting a bit naughty, as she stepped forward, skipping her way upstairs. As the copy of Fu mentioned stepped forward, looking towards the painting. "Father, is that..." "Yes," said Naruto. "A taste of things to come. And those heads, they're the heretics, are they not?" "Perceptive, aren't you?" said Naruto. "Only the heretics have the skin color, and the same hair. They're all the same." "They are, aren't they?" said Naruto as he looked towards the painting. 9 pale severed heads on 9 different pillars, and in the middle was a great tree. As it broke from the ground going up to the sky, a lone man stood on the top. Time skip. Rage. Unfiltered rage ran through his veins. His eyes were darting to pop out of his sockets. Things went from solvable to uncontrollable in such a short amount of time. His worst impulsive act up, and the Uchiha had a mind to go into the battlefield himself. But he could not. Events were so chained up right now, and there were harsh battles all over. He knew that Meiterume was a problem, of that he had no doubt. Ever since the bridges began, she's been one of the 3 names on the top list, and little Yagura had diligently done everything other than going after her himself. Letting Yagura out was too much of a risk. Kiri, or rather adapt, they could transfer the 3-tail to another host. It was simple for them. Everything was going at plan at first. Her troops were falling, and soon she would fall as well. But then the host of the 6 tails appeared, reinvigorated and stronger than ever. He wasn't even using his tail beast power, and yet he was annihilating the forces. Utsukata gave me a piece on the board that he didn't have anything to match with, barring Yagura, and even then it was still a problem. 3 versus 6. But it did not end there. For the last 7 or 8 months, this mystery man popped up out of nowhere. A ninja strong and capable. The only thing that he knew about him was his name, Arashi. He was deadly. He left Yagura with one eye after blinding him on the battlefield. With me and the 6 tails at his side, all around him was chaos and blood. More and more corpses started to fall like flies. A stalemate was one way to describe it, an annoying one, allowing Yagura to slip in a state of berserker mode. Red chakra exploded over him as 3 tails emerged behind him as he was on the verge of transforming, but not yet. But even then, with that amount of power, Meiterume was a Kage in all but rank. Her multiple kick Genkai, and Utsukata with his deadly style of fighting, and not to mention this Arashi with his blade that was able to cut through the Biju chakra. Rage. It wasn't just his own rage. The spell that he had placed Yagura on with his eyes. It seems like it was not working to its fullest as the man felt humiliated, being assaulted by these 3, like he wasn't a Kage, like he wasn't a fully controlled Biju. Killer instinct mixed with the chocolate tail beast. It exploded. Kiri was already a mess, and then the massive 3-tailed beast emerged. The thing roared, releasing a chaotic shockwave that blew everything away. He used his eyes to control the beast. It decimated a large amount of shinobis. It then slashed as it injured Meiterume. She lost consciousness, but Arashi had to stop fighting the beast to keep her alive. They were his now. It was time that they finally died. As he made the beast start to spin, the thing went like a ball and moved. People on his side was dying as well, but the thing was, Obito Uchiha did not give a damn about the village or its people. The only thing that he cared about was his goals, his ambition, as Yagura moved towards them with a speed that would just swallow them in the chaos. As Obito watches the beast move towards him, killing hundreds in his path, he loved it. He remembered these were the people. While it was not exactly them, they came from the same village. It was Kiri. Kiri was the one that chased down Ren, chasing her down to kill her. So he enjoyed seeing him suffer like this. As Obito watched as the chaos unfurled, he looked down towards Arashi. With the mask on, Arashi reminded him of someone. Someone whose hands were so bloody. Someone who you'd never forgive. As Meiterume was on the verge of unconsciousness, as she was running on fumes, the 3-tail then stopped as it brought its tails down, creating another onslaught of rage and destruction. It was then it raised its head to the sky. It started gather, A ball of death and destruction. More, 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 Obito said. It was the most chakra that he had to use to keep it under control, as he forced the beast to start push more power into his Biju bomb. At the end of the day though, it will be worth it. The ear twist, as the beast then fire it, wiping away everything that it went through as it rushed towards Meiterume and Arashi. The ball of death about to turn them into dust. Not even their ashes would remain. Kiri was in shambles as it went off. The place was just a gaping hole, a crater. It was just destruction. Pure, unrivaled destruction. As Obito looked down, it was done. They were gone. Now it was time to capture the six tails. With it here, he couldn't allow it to flee like that. As he looked around, what the hell? He didn't see it anywhere on the battlefield. He was sure that he was not caught up in a blast, he had made sure of that. So where the hell did it go? Obito looked around. Obito then felt pain. What the hell? Burning. Unnatural pain from behind. He was confused. He spun around as quickly as he could. His eyes came face to face with the perpetrator. The first thing he did was try to look for a genjutsu. It was certainly the same type of chakra he saw Yager generate when the madness took over, but this was different. Sprawled out on all fours, it was roughly the size of a tall human. Its skin was completely red and black. Its eyes were white. Six tails was coming out of its body. There were white bony lines around its face, like a sort of helmet. As Obito could swear that the thing was smiling at him. This was new. Red fumes started to release off its body. This was definitely Utakata about this form. He has never seen this form before. It seems too stable for a berserker. As it stepped forward menacingly. A Biju bomb should be able to stop this without killing it. So he moved. As the three-tail released another bomb. To his surprise though, the thing stopped. He watched as Utakata was pushing the thing back. Was that even possible? As he lifted the thing up, quicker than he could even react, Utakata moved with the bomb. Obito switched with the vision of the three tails to see through Yagura eyes. He could not move it in time. The thing was hit. All he saw was red. Pure red everywhere. The beast had hit directly in the face. The beast was blinded. Obito could not see anything through its eyes, but he could hear and feel everything the same way. He felt Utakata use his six tails and hit the sandbar in the face, further damaging the face, using his claws to slash it away. It crushed the thing's teeth and forced open its jaws. The six tails jumped into the thing's mouth and started to slice up everything as it went, straight down its throat. It went down into the stomach of the beast. It was then that Obito felt the power. "Damn you, Utakata!" he yelled as he activated his Kamui. Reappearing far down below, where the battle was going on, a colossal explosion went off, blowing back everything around him as he had to apply chakra to his feet to stay steady. A massive dome of red chakra exploded in front of him, far larger than the one that he had released. From the three tails, the entire village started to catch on wildfire. Obito had to activate his Kamui once more. Surprisingly though, he wasn't fast enough. It just expanded so quickly. Half of the mass was broken off. Its left arm was ripped clean off. Wave after wave of death and destruction kept on spewing out. He couldn't feel the connection to Yagura. He rushed, using the Kamui as he rushed right towards the center. He refused to believe that things had gone that bad so quickly. And when he arrived there, the transformed sandbar was gone. The only thing that remained was a crater. There was nothing there. And in the center was Utakata. Utakata's limbs started to fade away, as his body started to return back normal until molten geysers of lava shot out of the ground, swallowing him. Obito sucked himself away in a swirling vortex. He reappeared outside the village. Lava had started to burst on the earth and swallow Kiri. Hellfire and brimstone was all that remained. Buildings were wiped away. Obito watched as the village was being burned to the ground as he released a scream, a frustrated, rage-filled scream to the heavens. First, Zetsu disappeared. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki dead. And now two more Bijus. Gone from this world. He screamed in frustration as he dropped to his knees. Pure rage on his face. Time skip. 7 days later. It has been 6 days since she woke up. A day since Arashi informed her of what happened. Her ears could not believe it. The man was lying to her. If he was lying, why was he patching her up? Why look after her? Why care? She didn't trust him fully at first. Even after months passed, it wasn't until he tried to save Ayo. Then she started to trust him. And the anger he showed when he failed to save Kojiro. That is when she started to trust him even more. After that, he never let her out of his sight. He was never too far away, like a guardian angel watching over her. Always watching, protective, with a sharp tongue, cheering her up when she was down. He was keen and perceptive, loyal for a mercenary, but he was not a liar. So she went. It was then that she saw the truth with her own eyes. First denial, then anger, bargaining, then grief, then finally acceptance. 5 days ago she accepted that all she dreamed of doing, all that she worked for, it was all gone with the wind. Her home was nothing but ashes here and there. Mei Terumi never felt this pathetic, never felt this worthless before. All those that follow her put their fate and life in her hands. They were dead. Her village, the place that she sought to bring peace and unity back to, in ruins. Her only ally, a mercenary, on the verge of leaving once she healed up. The last person she trusted, the last person who cared. Finally, she broke down. 4 days ago, she craved peace for her mind. She wanted someone to comfort her with words. She wanted someone to be there. He was there. For the last 9 months he has been there, without question. Never turned his back, performed his duties to his fullest. 3 days ago, she took off his mask. 3 days ago, she let down her walls. 3 days ago she found what she was looking for. And now the two of them were in bed together. As she gave herself over to him, the only person in this world that she trusted right now. Everything went on for hours upon hours. The more it went on, the more she realized how she loved him. She loved Arashi. She loved him with all her heart. And she wanted him to stay with her. She didn't want him to ever leave. Every time he took her to bed, and they slept together, it always ended up like this. Her hair was a mess, but she had a smile on her face. And she felt love. She felt happy. One night though, he said, looking at her, "I got to confess something to you." Her heart skipped a beat at his pause. Was he gonna say it? Was he gonna confess his undying love to her? To tell her that she was his and now his forevermore? Was he gonna take her hand for marriage? It was so soon. But she had no one. He risked his life for her far too many times. Of course that she would say yes. Whatever he asks. I say this from my the bottom of my damaged heart. You're the finest piece of ass I ever had before. Mei felt dejected. She smiled and closed her eyes. "Glad to see you feel that way," she said. "I mean," he said, as he smacked her on the butt, making her yell a bit. "Now if only I had a more stable job, I would stay here and have more fun with you." No. Her mind started to race. She couldn't be alone. You can't go," she said. She clenched onto him. "Why not?" he said, as he looked at her with a frown on his face. Mei didn't like that look. "Well, I need someone to protect me," she said. "I did," he said. "I protected you even when I didn't need to." "I know, and I love you for it," she thought. "I'm injured right now. You can't just leave a maiden like this." "Maiden?" As he spanked her once more. "Yeah, you're not a maiden. Plus, you forget that I got other things to do. What do you expect? That I was gonna stick around?" "No," she said. Yes, she thought. "But this is far too soon," she said to him. "I would have left the moment you opened your eyes. Consider the rest I did for a courtesy," he said. She froze. "Do I mean nothing to him?" she thought to herself. This was all a joke. Yes, it has to be a joke. "And sleeping with me," she asked, "was that also a courtesy? Hey, you're the one that took my pants off. Besides, you don't get to say that to me. With the things that you've done." "Am I not good enough for you?" she yelled at him. Didn't I say that you were the finest piece of ass I ever had, he asked her. That's all I am to you. Just something to use. Is that it? Is that all I am, she asks. If you want to classify yourself as something like that, then who am I to stop you? The next few minutes followed as she yelled and shouted at him, as best as she could possibly muster. But he paid no attention to her, as he placed on his clothing, like it meant absolutely nothing. The pain in her chest grew more. He was really leaving. How could he just leave her? Wait, please, she said. As she realized that he was not a man to be controlled, the more she tried to yank at his chain, the more she realized there was no chain. Please, don't leave me. I have things to do, important things. Wait, I can come with you, she said. Let me rephrase that. I have important things pending. Things so questionable you wonder if I'm sane or not. I don't care, she yelled. She tried to get up, but her legs were too weak at the moment from what they went through a moment ago. She collapsed to the ground before she grabbed his pant leg. Please, I don't care what you do. Just take me with you. I don't have anything else. I don't have anyone else. I can't be without you. Her voice broke as she started crying. Fine. What? Did I hear that right? She thought. Fine. You can come with me, he said. He lifted her up and put her in the bed. To her surprise, she landed on the bed, but it was not the same bed. And to her surprise, the room was also different. Where were they? What just happened? She said. Teleportation. Where are we? She asked, looking around. My room. Hearing that, a smile came on her lips. I like it. Get used to it, Mei-chan, he said. He called her Mei-chan, as he was taking off her clothes. She bit her lip. You'll be staying with me forever, he said to her. She bit her lip once again. Forever, she said. She liked the sound of that. Time skip, the knock. It really annoyed her. She knew who was behind it. Everything about him annoyed her even more. It just made her so much more angrier. She never liked talking to him despite him being less treasonous. For the last few months, God knew what her teacher saw in that man to keep him around for this long. The stories that she heard from Kakashi and Danzo made her want to grab his head and pop that eye out, squish his skull and just hammer the rest of it away. But she was a Hokage, she had to be restrained. She had to be calm. Enter. The moment he entered, her annoyance simply raised. Of course he had that look on his face. If it wasn't blank, it was stern, trying to judge her for being soft. If it was frowning, it meant that he didn't approve her actions. And they will lead to a small war between words. But this time he looked serious. That was never good. What brings you here, Danzo? She said. Lady Hokage, as she enjoyed him calling her that. To make him realize that he was not in charge. She was. There is something of importance that we need to discuss. Perhaps it would be better if the envoys left. And them. His eyes turned toward her assistant Shizune. And apprentice Sakura. Whatever you have to say, you say it in front of all of them. I trust them more than you. Foolishness, Neve, he said. Foolishness. Sometimes compassion. Undue reason. Get to the point. Very well. He looked towards her students. You two are not to utter a word of this to anyone unless the Hokage sanction it. Danzo, I have a very long day ahead of me. So, get on with it. Kiri has been destroyed. What? She must have heard him wrong. What did you say? Kiri has been destroyed. As Danzo lay a scroll on her decks, with the details filled by spies from foreign nations. As you know, I have many Leaf agents in other nations gathering informations. The civil war going on there escalated in the last few months. Massive losses on both sides. Widespread conflicts. Collateral damage all over. A little over a week ago, the agent inside the village fled when the rebellions invaded. The Mizukage is a strong shinobi. He was made the leader due to his strength. All Jinjukis are like that. But the beast inside, it was only a matter of time before he snapped. All Jinjukis are like that after all. Snazzy fists collided in the table, hearing that as it broke. But Danzo stood there as he did not really care. Stay on the topic and choose your words carefully, she said, as she gave him a look of pure annoyance and rage. I speak only the truth, minus the softness that Harrison was famous for. Do you think Jinjukis would be loving and kind even after all the treatment they received for all of their life? It wasn't just Nade who was glaring at him. Shizune had a frown that held contempt. Sakura, the poor girl, was just standing in place. Yagura was no different. He was more feared than respected. A pariah before gaining power. Add that to the culture that Kiri was known for as a war. Was the only thing they had. Continue, said Snelly. Yagura transformed, said Danzo. He unleashed the full power of the Biju. And what followed next is hazy at best. Concerned that the reconnaissance agent had fled to the outskirts by then. However, he did confirm this. A full-tailed beast bomb was released by Yagura. Shit, Snelly thought. Her grandfather had told her how much power those things held. Still, one of those things shouldn't be enough to level an entire village. And this is the three tails we're talking about here. No, it wouldn't. I'm not sure what happened, but what followed next led to the destruction of Kiri. The entire landscape imploded upon itself, and this caused a volcanic eruption right in the center of the village. I'm sure I don't need to explain how that works. Snelly sighed, she rubbed her temple. What about Yagura? What is he doing? Ruling over ashes? Yagura is dead. The agent reported seeing a red dome of chakra before. It shot in the sky. Just goddamn great, she said. She needed a drink. But unfortunately, Danzo made her crush the decks. And her secret stash was definitely staying in the scroll. The Hokage and the village gone. The balance between the nations were disturbed. There was only four. Four left. The land of water was in panic right now. Kumo would send their people there to offer refugees to the ones, the bloodline people that survive. May I suggest something, Danzo said. His tone was calm and subdued. All you ever do is suggest things my grandfather would never approve. Lord Second would. Snelly wanted to argue with that, but she knew that it would not be correct what she said. Her granduncle was different from her grandfather. A lot different in their views. Whatever, get on with it. I have a headache. The three tails is gone now. However, like any other tail beast, it will return. I'm sure that you're already aware how the stone and cloud will react to this news. Who doesn't? The hidden stone has two Jinjulkis. So does Kumo. One of them happened to be the 8 tails. The sandbar would take probably a year, maybe a bit more to reform. The Kyuubi should be reforming in about the same time. I have scattered enough resources around the elemental nation to keep an eye out for when they reform. The 9 tails and the 3 tails. For Konoha's Snelly thought, as she see where he was going with this. You do realize what you're stating. If the other villages hear about this, that Konoha has more than one Jinjulki. We have no Jinjulki, he said. Or do you forgot that? I remember, she said. As she was trying her best not to remember him, so she wouldn't. She shook her head, focusing. If they find out, war will be knocking on our doors. War has always been knocking on our doors. The last Senju. Do you know why the last of them? Of course I do. No you don't, said Danzo. You're already aware of this, but this is to just remind you of something. You've had killers sent after you the day that you were born. Anyone who had the last name Senju had a bounty on their head. Always wanted dead, never alive. That's the power and fear your name had. Because of your grandfather, because of your granduncle. We went to great lengths to keep Senju descendants a secret. Even after that, they were brought into the non-arete. They were cursed with greatness. That is what a Senju is, that is what you are. You remain to the village your name. It's what is keeping them out of our borders. One day, you will die. As will I. All we will have left to keep them in line is the Jinjulkis. If we don't have our deterrents, we have nothing to stop them from attacking us. When that happens, this village will be hunting grounds for all of them. Even our closest allies will turn against us in our darkest times. The sand will be the first to abandon us. The sand wouldn't abandon us. The voice of Soccer came out. Snelly wanted to tell her to pipe down Danzo's smell. Blood in the water. Why wouldn't they abandon us, Danzo asked. Because they're our comrades. We have a peace treaty and one of your classmates, Danzo said, cutting her off, was almost kidnapped by a cloud ninja once. He served as an ambassador for a peace treaty, and in the night he became a kidnapper. That's different, said Sakura. They're Sakura, quiet, said Snelly. I'm not wrong, Master. San is our ally. Sakura Haruno. I'll let your words slide because you're so young. In times, you will start to see the world differently. You will start to see every village differently. You will see that every shinobi that doesn't have a leaf symbol on your headband is an enemy. Sakura did not respond. As Danzo turned his gaze, I hope you will consider what I say, Lady Hokage. Now, if you'll excuse me, I feel rather drained from shouting, he said. This is shouting, Sneddy thought. As he left, she leaned back in her chair. I hate my job, she thought. But guys, be in subscribe right here for watching sports and do like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.